G'day everyone, welcome to another edition of Kev's Workshop. This is the project of the New South Wales D57. There's the end scale version I done back in 1998. This is the HO scale, which is, well, the HO scale version I should say, of the DJH made kit. And after 2.5 months, almost 3 months, working part-time on this project, this is how it's coming along. It's not too far off being completed. Once I get the rear ladder sorted out and then get a few other details sorted, I'll be able to at least show you this loco complete. It'll end up on my Kev's Workshop website. For those who are not too sure what these kits are like, brass and white metal, they can be very tricky, especially if you don't know what you're doing. I admit there's a lot of this fine detail work. The injector here is possibly the left hand injector on the right hand side, but that's something I can sort out. As you can see with the DJH kits, they're very highly detailed, and if we look down in here from the steam generator, I've got 2 pieces of armature winding wire strung out down the side into the air compressor. That's not supplied in the kit, that's something I have supplied. And that actually refers back to a photo that I've got of this very locomotive, which will become 5711 as in the end scale, and it's clearly shown there on the locomotive, so I've added it to the kit. These are very tricky devices, well, locos, as far as kits to construct, I suppose, and build, and unless you've got all the detail, it's hard to say, because like I've seen shots where this grab rail is wrong. Well, going by the photos, that's the correct grab rails for the top of the sandbox, and trying to get all the necessary details correct on both is not easy, but I'm working from actual planes and working from actual photos of the locomotive. Now, you would have seen this in one of my other previous Kev's Workshop videos. So even though I'm starting this bit of video on these 2 locomotives, what this video is more so about are these. It's a Bachmann rolling road. It's 4 of them there, and you look at the type of setup they are. You pick up your rail power straight to each side. Plastic centre then makes it insulated. But what is so good about these, not so much that they're made by Bachmann, as some people pronounce them Bachmann or Bachmann, but I look at these, and it's not hard, or not easy to see till the camera focuses in. They are actual bearings. I was actually impressed with these. I got these second hand. Let's just pick up this set here and see if we can get the light in. They're actual bearings. I was actually impressed with the size of how small these bearings are. And yeah, they're very simple, and they're designed to pick up power and put it directly to your wheels. In my previous video on the New South Wales D57, you'll see the chassis section sitting up on top of these rolling roads, or these rolling road sections. Well, some months later, after getting those and doing the video with the D57 chassis having a ride, I ended up picking up a set of the G-scale ones. Now, if I come down to here, I'm going to pick up this particular one. Clearly you see it's Bachmann, but you look at the rolling road on this, and you can see how rubbish it really is. Now I bought these second hand, $35 a pair. And to me, it's like, yeah, fair enough, we'll try again. So, it's seized. Doesn't matter how much force I put onto it, they're seized, the whole lot of them. I picked up two sets, or 2 pairs of 2, which gave me an actual 4 set. So, another thing I'll do while I'm thinking of it, there's the underside. So you can see how the plastic is insulating the 2 halves. So if I put that back into here, that's one pair. Well, I end up having to go to Statewide Bearings in Kewdale here in Perth, and I've spent $70 on getting new bearings. Now these are the rollers that I took off. Oops, sorry about that. There we go. Look in the right spot here. They're the rollers that came off the Bachmann set that I've already pulled apart. Absolute rubbish. How on earth these would spin is beyond me. But whoever designed and built these in Bachmann should be shot. That's my opinion. So absolute rubbish. Again, you can see on this set how they're all set up. There's an individual set. I'll just pull this to one side. There we go. That's the individual unit. And there's nothing really there to hold them in place. But obviously these were seized before I bought them. And absolutely rubbish. But I found a way to improve them. So if you are into G scale or thereabouts, garden scale, gauge 1, do like I've done. Go to Statewide Bearings in Kewdale, Perth, Western Australia, and you want part number or item number 625-ZZ-JP. And that's these bearings. Beautiful bearings, yep. They've just fallen off because I haven't fixed them in place yet. But I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Now these bearings, they're sealed. There's no way crap can get into them. Oops. There you go. They're absolutely beautiful, free rolling. I'll show you what I've done with them. Here's one of the ones I have completed out of the 4. And look at that. Absolutely awesome. Expect them to fall off? No, see, shaking. Oh, look at this. I can put my thumb against it and they're holding in. Spin the other side. See? You're wondering how I'm doing it? This is the stuff to get. This is the Permatex brand. Now, Loctite also make the same sort of thing. This camera's trying hard to focus in but can't. Let's see if we can get this around for you. No, it's refusing to focus. There we go. Getting somewhere now. Thread like a blue. That's the stuff you want to get. You've got to be careful. You've got to read all the nonsense that goes with it. 10 mils worth in the bottle, which isn't a great deal. But for the amount of use you'd need on it, you use very, very little. Well, that's the stuff I've used to lock these in place. And you don't need a great deal. So, there's a slightly different camera shot, which I'm about to do in a moment. You'll get to see how I do it. Okay, I'm free holding this camera, so I'm doing everything one-handed. This is the Loctite blue I'm putting on. All you want, nice little dribble, certainly not a great deal. Let it run around, push the wheel on, get the other one, push the wheel on, and within 5 minutes that'll be holding like the other ones. There's your comparison. The original Bachmann one here and the modified version. Now to do a full set of these, it'll set you back about $70 Australian. And there's the underside of the plastic block. That we turned up the right way, of course, just like the other one behind it. Then this rubbishy one is going to get pulled apart, and then that'll get the same treatment. In 5 minutes, as I say, that Loctite blue will be enough to hold it in place. You sort of see down in here, the camera will focus. There's a little bit of Loctite blue you can see, but certainly providing you don't go overboard with it, you should be right. And just see a little bit of Loctite blue sitting in there. What you're always best to do is make sure you haven't accidentally sealed the bearings, which is possible. These are spinning free. Absolutely beautiful. So in a moment, I'm going to do this pair, get both of these right. So this original was going to be modified to that in just a moment. And to give you an idea, there's the rest of my bearings. I bought 16 of them. So you consider 2, 4, 6, 8, and there's 4 sets of these, so there's another 8. So therefore, to do a full set, you want 16 bearings to replace the original rubbish that Bachmann put on it. Now, I'm disappointed with Bachmann for putting rubbish before everything else, because as I say, that is top quality, and yet that's also by Bachmann. Each one of those are ball bearing type racers, and I've never had a problem with them. When I got them, they were a bit gunked up, sort of seized, so I soaked them in some shellite, took them out, cleaned them, put some WD-40 through it. Bloody beautiful, spin free. And of course you've got to keep these surfaces clean, so in trying to keep those surfaces clean, you make sure your wheels are clean and you're ready to go. But you also got to make sure your rail head is also clean, and that way power will transfer through to the cast block on either end. Power gets transferred through, you should be right. Now, the only minor issue, the Loctite might insulate onto here, so if I just put in a small drop, it's hoped that as it runs round I'll get power transfer through. If not, if I have the problem of Loctite insulating the casting to the actual bearing, there is another way around it. So bear with me, I'm going to try get this thing assembled, or converted and assembled, and I'll be back in just a moment. While I'm in the process of doing this, give you an idea how easy it is to pull this off. Doesn't sound right, I know, but blink. That's all it is. That's now ready for the next set of bearings to go on. Okay folks, this one up. I've done all 4 of them. It's going to take me about half an hour to do it. The new bearings are in place. And this is as they standardly are, or as they are standard. Alright, for my situation, I'm not using the Bachmann or Pico G-scale track. I'm not even using the LGB track. But that's as they are for standard. I'm going to put these pair over here because they have yet to be modified. What I have done, I'll just unclip this other one, I've put a 3rd rail notch into it. This one I've taken off the 45 degrees, which generally what centres it. As you can see, they are also modified. And I'm using the 10mm brand track. This is the G scale, or gauge 1. That's the reason why I've taken the 45 degree chamfer at the bottom edge. And as you see, I'm also running dual gauge, so it's 32mm gauge on the inner, 45mm gauge on the outer, all the way through. I've got about 14 lengths of this stuff. I've had it since the 80s, and the reason for modifying these Bachmann jobs is purely to sit on this bit of track. But otherwise, in general scope of things, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Now I'm having a bit of a electrical issue, or there's poor contact between the rail head and the cast metal parts, but you sort of see how it now sits. But to prove it does actually work, I'm just having to prop up this connection here, over the fact it's not sitting properly on this 10mm brand track. But in all essence of things, for the testing purposes and to demonstrate that it does actually work, that's only running on 12 volts. That's a Bachmann handcart on there. So this is the idea of the rolling road. Some of you probably get a lot of entertainment out of all this, but if you're into servicing and repairing trains of all scales, you can see how the Bachmann rolling road is supposed to work. Well, sort of. But I do suggest that if you're going to modify a set of these Bachmann jogs with these bearings, that you check the electrical conductivity between the axle and the bearing itself. Make sure power does get through. That's why I suggest only a small drop of the thread locker, the thread locker, instead of 6/4 machining on the axle, on the wheels I should say. So that's the quality of Bachmann. Not very good, but can improve a hell of a lot. It's got the real space, so it's actually running away from it. That's gorgeous. At least I can now test D-scale on this test track. It's a simple remedy, simple fix. I'm happy any of you out there with D-scale look at this and go, oh, I can do that too. The idea of the rolling road is to test your mechanisms without the train having to be on the main line. You can see exactly what's going on or what isn't going on. And in this case, I can see how dirty my wheels are on the handcart and how badly the machine. So these guys, these are clamped inside, operating the push rod. That's all done mechanically inside of here. So this is sort of how Bachmann should have made them in the first place. Good better quality, proper bearings. They can do it in the HO scale, they should have done it in D scale too. That might be my argument. But all those of you out there with model railways and all miniature railways, you know that I model from Z scale through to 7 1/4. This is a bit of G scale. Something a bit different to the normal, but these brand new bearings, I see that as an investment of $70 for 16 bearings. And this video is actually in the first week of August 2020. So whenever time you end up watching this video, or whenever it is, that's how far my video was weird. I might have been. So that is a rolling road, having a closer look. Now let's just compare it with the HO scale one. Alright. There's the HO scale one, there's the D scale one. If Bachmann can get it right in HO, they should have got it right in D scale. And then it would have made it study for money. So if anyone from Bachmann are watching this video on YouTube, get it right. So about the vacuum blast will fall out. So the other pair here, they will be modified to dual gauge, but I will eventually get myself some Pico or Bachmann or LGB straight track just to test running things like this. There you go, hope you enjoyed that bit of a demo. So, hopefully that explains what a rolling road is. Have to go, catch you later, take care, keep well and happy modelling.